Hey, welcome to another episode of Punky's World. I got another project to work on. Let's see if I can fix it. Here we go. So today I got a generator that won't start. A friend had given me this. He said he wanted me to take a look at it and see what the funk's all about with this. So let's see if we can get it to run again, and let's see if we can make it generate energy again. Can I do it? I don't know. Let's give it a college dropout try. Let me give you a look around on this thing so you can see how dirty it is and how spiderwebby it is. It's pretty crazy. We have a Generac GP3300 generator. It's pretty dirty, as you can see. I'm gonna go around the corner here. Looks like there's a bunch of spider webs in there. That looks like fun. I see some spider web sacks. Ooh, wow, huh. Do I want to go to the emergency room today from being bit by a million black widows? I don't think so. So after observing how dirty this thing is, I think the best course of action right now before I do anything on this unit is I'm gonna take it out in the yard and just hose it off. It's gonna make this job so much cleaner and better to work on because I'm not dealing with so much damn grease. So let's get her out there and let's hose her off. Still a lot of spider webs. All right, I'm confident enough that it's clean enough. We're gonna let it dry 5 to 6 business days. Just kidding, not that long. But we're gonna let it dry because it's a very hot day out today. And we'll see if we can get her to run and generate some freaking energy. Some energy! It's been a day. This thing's been drying out in the sun. Completely dry. There's no water drips or any kind of water in this thing at all. So now we're just going to do some preliminary checks on this engine on why it probably doesn't start. Let's check the oil. We haven't done that yet on this thing. That could cause it not to run. It looks like it's full of fuel. Now I don't know how old that fuel is. I'm going to take a gamble and just try to run it with this fuel and see, but we might be pumping this fuel out and just filling it with some fresh ethanol-free fuel and starting her off with a fresh tank. So, but first, let's check the oil. Let's do a couple of checks here and see what the haps is all about. Looks like there's not much oil in there. There's oil, but looks like it's on the... No, this thing's definitely low in oil. Let's check it again. No, this thing's bone dry. Okay. With it being bone dry, that's a good reason why it probably doesn't start. Why it's bone dry, I don't know. And the thing about these engines is they have an oil sensor where if it's too low in oil, it'll shut the engine off or cause it not to start. Now, I know that specifically because I used to build go-karts and I used to disconnect the oil sensor switch because I would build these off-road carts, and when you would be drifting around a corner or sliding in the dirt, the oil would go to one side, the sensor would kick in and it would kill the engine. Let's put some oil on this thing and let's see if it fires. But if it's that low in oil, I wonder if we have a gasket leak or something, but you know, we'll find out one step at a time. Some 1030 oil. See if it leaks out at all. I don't see any oil coming out, so that's a good sign. Looks like we have enough oil now, I think. Yeah, okay. So we're at the good mark right there. All right, I guess we'll we'll open the garage up here and we'll see if she fires. We use a little ether to get her going maybe as well. Our fuel valve looks like it's open. It needs new fuel lines, I can tell. This might be our choke. Should be an on switch. On. Here we go. Probably have a carburetor that's dirty as all hell. That thing's in the choke position. Oh, look at that. Got some fun little webs in there. Cool, let's put a little ether in her. Well, as it turns out, I don't have any ether or starting fluid. So, first of all, spray these eggs. Let's see if we can convince her. will fire. I think we got a carburetor situation here. Come on, baby. All right, well, we know it's gonna fire. She ran on a little bit of a brake cleaner. I think the carburetor is plugged up and everything. So we're gonna pull the carburetor off. We're gonna check the jets. We're gonna spray it all out, clean the whole thing. I'm sure it's got shit gas as well. So maybe we'll pump out the fuel of this tank. We will fill it up with some fresh fuel. And I like to run in my small engine stuff. I like to run the cans of fuel that is ethanol free. Yes, it costs a little more money, but if you're not using a piece of equipment for a while, like for example, I have an outboard that I use for my dinghy. I always run ethanol-free fuel in that. Unless I know I'm gonna be at the island and I'm gonna be burning a lot of fuel, I'll run the other stuff in there. But then when I get back to the docks, what I'll end up doing is I will pump out all the fuel that's pump gas from the gas station. I'll make sure there's no fuel that's left in that tank or the carburetor, and then I'll put ethanol-free fuel in there. That way it's good enough, so if I'm just using the dinghy around the harbor or just want to go to some neighbors' boats or whatever, then I can use that, and I just use the ethanol-free fuel, because you can leave that stuff in the tank and it won't gum up the carburetor, and it just makes your carburetor last a long time. So we're gonna shut the fuel valve off, which it is off, so that's good. We got this little plate right here. I bet you that's probably gonna be a 10. Let's do a 10. It is a 10. Okay. Alright, pop this guy off, bolts right there. And we have some other hoses here, little breather hoses. This is for your valve cover breather. That goes into here, it's this L one. Okay, there's some other goodies right here. We're gonna pull this one off. Just free it up from the equation. This is a plate that goes right here. There goes this, and then the bolts to put it back on. So bolt right here holding this little housing on. It is also a 10. Still need a little more convincing. Come on, baby. This isn't even the hard part. The hard part is hopefully not getting bit by spiders, because there's so many in here. Is that enough? Come on, baby, come on. Off with you. Look at this. It's not off. You know what? I think that's fine. I'll just leave it right there. I should still be able to pull this carburetor off without any problems. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, this is your fuel line, which doesn't even look like it's crimped on there. It's not. And we're gonna replace fuel lines on this thing because it's, I could tell it's gonna be, oh yeah, it's rotted. Oh yeah. All right, let's see if this will pull off after we get the linkage. And the linkage back here, this one has to go like that. This should pop up. Yep. And then there's the spring that goes right there. There's only one hole on it for the small one. Okay, that's off. Now, what else is holding you on? Okay, we got this little gasket right here we'll take off, which is like a plastic gasket. Okay. Oh, we're getting somewhere. And just like that, she's off. All right, let's take this over to the bench and see what's up. But first of all of our parts, just put them in a bag. Okay, and we know that this metal one goes on the outside housing of this plastic enclosure. This goes on the inside, the black. Well, maybe it's, oh, that's a metal one too. It's just, it has some silicone or something on it. Okay, all right, it's zip locked. Just gonna throw it on top. let's put this on the bench and get cracking. So we're back at the workbench right here. I have this carburetor that looks like it's pretty dirty. It needs a bath. I have no doubt that one of these jets are plugged on this thing. We need to open her up. We need to spray her down, and we have to use my little wire tools to clean out all the jets and see if we can make her fire again. So let's get to it. I'll put the gloves on. The doctor is in. Time for that prostate exam. Okay, so first things first, let's pull the bowl off real quick. I have a 10, and what I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna undo this part of the bowl, because this is a drainage one right here, so if there's any fuel in it, it'll come out. Looks like there's a little bit of fuel, so we'll screw that one back in. Fuel smells kind of tarnished too. I'm pretty sure we have bad fuel on this. We're gonna take the middle bolt out of the bottom of the bowl of the carburetor. Let's drop it in here for right now. We're gonna pull the bowl. It's a little dirty. It looks like there's a little tarnish around there, but that could just be for where it's screwed into the bowl. Also, the fuel smells, it smells. We'll pull this pin for the float. Drop it there. Take it out. Next, let's get a screwdriver. We're gonna pull this jet out right here. If I don't strip it, please don't strip. Okay, there should be a jet and then an emulsion tube that comes out of this thing. All right, there's your jet, and let's just take a look and see. Yeah, it's pretty plugged. So we're gonna have to clean that. Come on, emulsion tube, come on. There's an emulsion tube that's right there. It's kind of sticking up. I'm gonna push it in. There it is. I've seen worse. Let's put this over here for a minute. We're gonna move our float. Let's put our pin over here. Our jet, our emulsion tube, our bowl. Now I'm just gonna dump this back in the fuel tank so it can start clean. I'm trying to start clean because I want to spray carb cleaner in here, and just so I can get an idea how much dirt and crap that's inside of there. Let's first give this a little bath here. I'm gonna pull off the choke lever. It just pulls straight up. It mounts right there. There's a little pin. So just so you know, choke lever's coming off. I'll put that right there. Let's start spraying. Oh, filthy girl. Look at her. Look at all that dirt. There's mud coming off this thing. All right, this is a dirty carb. We're gonna take off this broken hose for the fuel line. There's no sense in keeping that on. But look how dirty that is. Look at all that sediment. You seeing that? Oh yeah, baby, come on. Get it. There it is. All right. All right, let's start clean again. We're gonna focus this part of the video on the jet. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this through the camera. I'm gonna do my best to try to show you. This is the main jet. And what you should be seeing is you should be seeing a hole that's in the center, but it's so plugged up that you can't see anything. I'm putting it right up to the light. I don't see any hole going through there. So we're gonna focus our energy on this. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my bucket. I'm gonna take some spray and I'm just gonna blast it through real quick. Wow. There was a lot of tarnish that just came out of that. I have this tool right here, which I really love. You can get them cheap on the Amazon. It comes with different brushes too. And it's got little tiny little poke sticks. And it's got a little, I wouldn't say a sawing edge, but it's got a rough edge on it. Now, be very gentle when you're doing this. You're gonna poke it through like this. that one's a little too big. I need the even smaller one. You don't want to over poke it, because if you do, you'll change the jetting on the carburetor and then it won't run right at all. Oh yeah, here we go. Just kind of putting it through, just gently. I'm not over sawing, but I'm turning it a little bit like this. Let's blast it out with some carb cleaner. Oh, look at that. Now we have a hole. Let's see if you can see that on the camera. I don't know if you can, but well, maybe you can a little bit. This jet is cleaned out. I have some different brushes here. Yes. Anyway, I'm gonna soak this a little bit. I use this little brush, just gonna give it a little clean wiping for the threads so it goes in nice and smooth. Little carb cleaner action, clean her off. Nice. Okay. This house is clear. The jet's done. There was quite a bit of dirt that came off of that. Next, we're gonna clean what we call the emulsion tube right here. And I can see through it, so it's not horribly bad, but I have little brushes. These are just so handy because they're just the right size. I'm gonna go through. Just gonna kind of clean it, go through it a little bit. Spray a little carb cleaner in there. Oh, look at all that funk coming out. Yeah, baby. Whew, that was dirty. Dirty girl, yeah. All right, gonna brush its teeth some more. Look at that. In and out. Oh, as I bend my stick there, whatever. Should be fine. Give another little spray again. And be careful because it's got holes on the side right here. It'll spray out at you. All right, so I got a really thin stick right here. I think it's my thinnest. Let's see. This one looks like it's my thinnest. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna clean out these holes in the emulsion tube. See how it went through? Close it off. Emulsion tube is clean. We're gonna clean out the surfaces inside of this carburetor in here. Just gonna give it a little carburetor lube spray. We're gonna shove our brush down here. I'm just gonna give it a little cleaning right there. I don't know if you can see that, but there's the brush that's going in and out. Let's give it a little scrubby right there. Just cleaning it out. Okay, we still got some dirt coming out of this thing. We're gonna go inside of here. This is where the fuel comes in and out. We'll clean out these orifices. Orifices. Yeah. This thing looks hella better now. Let's clean the bowl. Much nicer. So now we're going to start the reassembly process here. Everything is clean. I think this needle will be fine. So let's put it back into place right here. All right, we got the float put back on there. We're going to drop in our emulsion tube. We're going to take our jet. And then we'll take our screw-up driver. And keep threading until it stops. And just give it a little tighten there. Put our bowl back on. Unless you want to smoke a bowl out of this bowl. I cracked myself up. Got our bolt on. It's the 10. Goody, gumdrops. Awesome. And our choke lever. And let's just clean that up because it's a little rusty looking. So while we're here, just give it a little scrape down, clean it up. Perfect. Look at that. Freaking brilliant. Groovy. Yep, choke lever works. Good deal. All right, let's put it back on the generator and we'll see what happens. Okay, so this goes like this. This goes on right here like this. It's the spacer for it. Okay. Cool, that one's on. We'll hook up the governor now. Okay, that's on. Goody goody. Sweet. Now, this guy goes on here like this. This piece lines up right here. That fits on over there. Now we can put our 10s on. There's that bolt back there we need to tighten up as well. Okay, put this little piece in there. Got that. This filter's seen better days. We're gonna put it back in there. I have not hooked up this fuel line yet because I need to replace this fuel line. It is just, it's done, it's finished. And we need to pump this tank. I'm not running this shit fuel inside of this freshly cleaned carburetor. My next step right now is I'm gonna pump all this disgusting fuel out of here into this old jerry can that I have. There's a little filter right here. I'm gonna, ouch with you. So I'm gonna pump it out. Look at that. It looks like an awful looking color. God knows how long this fuel has been in there. There's chunks and all sorts of shit in there. Wow, look at that. Gross. Yeah, we got most of it, but oh, that fuel looks so nasty in there. It almost sounds like crunching or something. What the hell is that? Look at that. You know, we may have to pull the tank on this. That's what we're gonna do. There's rust or something. I don't know what's in there, but it is completely tarnished. We gotta hose this tank out. Into the bag to go. Okay. So I cleaned the tank out in the solvent tank. It was really nasty. There was some rust stuff in there, which I don't know how that got in there. Still letting it dry, but I figured while I'm in here right now, with the tank off and everything, I might as well pull the spark plug and just take a look to see how that plug looks in there. So let's do it. That plug's not horrible. Let's see if I have an extra one anyways. I'm gonna put this new one in. You know, and while I'm in here too, I've been wanting to use my scope for a minute. I'll use my bore scope and just take a look down the cylinder. Yeah, she's a good runner. I can tell already, look at that. I don't know if you're seeing that, but the cylinder looks good. We're gonna throw the spark plug in there. Okay. It's tighter. Back. Clamp on it. Found a fuel hose that will go on that. Okay, looks like it's on. Let's put this little thing back in there like this. Put this on like that. We're gonna screw this on there. I gotta hook up our breather hoses. This one goes to the valve cover. It plugs in there like that. Our fuel filter in the top. We'll add some ethanol-free fuel to it and see if we have any leaks or anything. I don't see any leaks coming from the carburetor. Okay, let's take it outside and see if she fires up. Let's give her a whirl. That's the choke. On. See what happens. All right. Well, thank you for joining me on this episode of Punky's World. I hope you learned something in this video. I hope that maybe when you take apart your carburetor, whether it's a generator, a go-kart engine, a pressure washer, I mean, there's so many different applications, then you have a little more confidence on how to do it. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. I always have different videos coming out. I never know what I'm going to be working on. If you want to stay informed, click that button, and we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.